Let's go.
Hi guys, welcome to lesson 5 of Lenormand level 1, where we are looking at 5 card reads. I want to remind you that we do have a handout in the World Lenormand Association group and also on the home study platform that we use, Teachable. So if you want any written words and examples on the spreads that we've done all this week, a little bit more detail on sometimes in writing, it's easier to understand than straight through the video. You can find this in the group. So today we are going to be looking at 5 card reads, and we're also going to read them in themes. So we're going to change those meanings or change the application of those meanings to fit into the themes that we are looking at. We are going to continue with the techniques that we've learned this week, the narrative read, the focus read, and the mix read, to see how those different interpretations change when it comes to more cards in the mix. So I'll start to shuffle, and the first read that we are going to do, we're going to have a look at work themes. So I've taken the 2 significators out, so we're just reading with picture cards or meaning cards, and I am going to read for work, for finances, for health, and for relationships. One spread on each to see how the information that the cards gives us changes slightly between those different themes. So we'll start with a word read, and we'll start with the narrative flow. So 5 cards. So on a linear read, just for your advice, which is what we're doing here when there's no cards above or below, are great for when we are doing progressions of time. So when we're doing a month forward, for example, when we're doing the progression to promotion in a work theme, when one card can tell a story after the next. That linear kind of read. So we start off with the stork, the tower, the birds, fox, and book. Now we have one card in the mix that pertains to work, and that is the birds card. It pertains to hard effort, burden, and relates to the working life, as far as lots to do, lots on your plate. A stressful, hard situation can also refer to manual labor. I think I said that earlier in the course. The other cards don't specifically refer to work. So we don't have the moon card, we don't have ship for sails, we don't have fish. And when I am doing a reading, whether it be career, whether it be working towards a promotion, etc., I also look at what's missing. So we don't have any money cards in the mix. The ship, the fish, the moon, we don't have there, and anchor is obviously a financial card as well. So that's missing as a start. As a narrative read, there are changes at work that actually may mean that you are working longer hours with the tower in the mix. It is requiring a great effort for the querent. So changes at work that may require a longer period of work with the tower, and it is extremely hard work because probably there's something wrong in the mix. Something's coming to light at the end with book. A narrative read starts the time scale and ends. So this is the outcome card as far as your time scale is concerned. So the book ends with nasty surprises. The fox and the book together are nasty surprises in the workforce. It may just be because we're seeing this hard work, these extra hours required, that they are indeed that nasty surprise to the querent. So if we change to our focus read of that first card, we're talking about huge changes. Remember, that focus card becomes the most important. So the answer to the question, the answer on a work front is there are huge changes at work. What are those huge changes? And you have those 4 cards there. The huge changes at work are referring to the amount of work that needs putting in, the time of work that needs putting in, and it is not pleasant information to the querent. So that suggests that it is an external situation in that the company are enforcing these things that you see here that are creating that overall change that happens within the querent's working position. If we're doing a mix, we are looking at that center card. Excuse me. So that center card becomes the overall focus, and it becomes much more heightened than when we were reading in the narrative. There's a lot of hard work and stress in the workplace. Changes in overall length of period are a nasty outcome for the querent that is causing this stress at work. As you see, they're all nuances. They all tell the same story. But it just puts, if you think about what you were wanting for your month ahead, for example, it puts that focus on the hard effort that's required versus putting the hard effort on that change. Sorry, that focus on that change. So let's do another, and we'll do financials. So if we're looking at financials for the coming month, then we're wanting to see cards like ship. We're wanting to see anchor in the mix. We're wanting to see fish in the mix. They're all good, high financial cards. The cards that will bring those financial down are your nasty cards. The coffin will show no finances, or the whip will show issues within their financial statements, for example, or financial status. I'm just giving them, I'm not setting an intention. I am purely doing this for instructive purposes and making sure we get different cards coming up. So I find the narrative read the best for financials, because if you think about a financial statement, I'll get a piece of paper out actually. If you think about financials, I ripped it from the printer, so it looks a little worse for wear. When you get a financial statement or graph, you will have paydays, you'll have times where not as much comes in, maybe a status quo, maybe it'll go down with coffin, like we say, and then maybe up. Fish at the end would take you back up. So you can see and track that financial chart. Your Lenormand cards in a linear fashion will do exactly the same for you. So a narrative read is absolutely the best read as far as the financial forecast is concerned. We have whip to start with. And remember, I've just said that that will show issues within the finances. So the querent will be starting the week or the month, whatever time scale, with difficult financial status, struggles as far as finance are concerned. However, as the time period goes, they move from that, oh my God, I haven't got enough money, to Tower, which is our card of longevity. It's not showing absolute pennies coming into your account, but it is showing a rise in the financial status that leads to feeling that they have enough. Our long-term card, our card of longevity, showing that we actually have what we need to get by. But then we take another dip, and finances are not coming in as they should. In fact, the long term that came before has been severely hit financially in that third card. And then the fourth card, we have petering down as well. Mice, degrades, decays, losses. So as far as finances are concerned, these are dangerous losses coming down. How do they end that scenario? With dog. Thank goodness. Dog is our card as far as finances is concerned. If you think of that loyalty, that friendship, a loyal financial situation is one where you can pay your bills. It doesn't mean that you have loads of money in the bank, but it does mean that you are comfortable with the amount of money, and it is almost like a status quo as far as finances is concerned. So for a financial read, there are issues, could be lots of outgoings, for example, or even money not coming in. It is our card of arguments, so it shows that there are financial disruptions at the beginning of the month, which lead into actually being paid something that gives them enough to keep going. However, Scythe then shows that that is not long lasting. We have that financial cut. There is no money coming in with Scythe, and the money that they do have is being frittered away or being lost with the mice. But they end the scenario being on a status quo. They may have got a little bit in to keep them going with that dog card. So if we are looking at the focus card of whip, the answer becomes that financials are difficult. Financials are currently contested even with the whip card. It could mean that the querent is contesting people who haven't paid them, customers, for example. But the whole thing becomes, the whole read becomes based around those discord of the whip. So financials are horrible in the coming scenario, with possibly more outgoing than is required or not enough incoming. It is that conflict card. That is explained further by probably their salary not coming in. That long-term money, that money that is due for our old age, even could be a pension not coming through too, with the tower and the scythe. In any end effect, that money that they are due in, that is either their salary, pension, etc., is not coming in, and they are losing money because obviously if they've not got the money in, they still have to eat, they still have to carry on with their lives. So their money is dwindling all the time. But with dog, we're given some hope that they will have enough to get by. So let's have a look at the focus read with that scythe, the mix read with the scythe taking on that huge role. Finances are going to be dangerously low with the scythe in the mix. They are not getting what they are wanting. There are disagreements about either salary, like I say. Think of long-term payments, anything that's paid over a long amount of time. There is conflict with those payments that are coming in, and it is frittering their usual money in with the mice and the dog. The best advice I have for you for these is just try and think practically about the question that you have asked and break it down in the cards like I have. Move them around so you can see how they are added in to one another. What was my next one? Health. So if we're doing a health read, we are tracking in the narrative a progress of health, whether it's good health, bad health, great health, declining health. So that's the first thing that we will look for in a narrative read. And again, I'm not setting an intention for this. I'm just allowing any 5 cards to come out. So the first card we have is Moon, a great card as far as health is concerned. Rider, Garden, well, these are good cards. Crossroads, you never know with Crossroads. Depends what comes afterwards. And then Heart. These are solid cards as far as health is concerned. The Moon card is our card for, as you know, fame, recognition, doing well. On a health basis, you are doing well in a health basis. This is a card of having decent health and knowing that you have decent health. It moves into Rider, and Rider talks about news. So there's news coming in, and you see the rider is actually riding into that moon. There's news coming in that is being recognized about health and being in a good state of health. Garden is an interesting card when it comes to health. It is our sociable card. So if there were any negative cards around, we could be looking at viral illnesses, for example. But as there's nothing negative within there, it's actually a card of openness. It is a card of maybe even going out into nature, going out with people, and in a health basis, actually being healthy enough to do that. They do have some decisions regarding this progress to be made, and if it had followed with a negative card, we could maybe have seen some illness there, but we're not. We're seeing the Heart card. It could just be that they're wanting with these cards, or will be doing, and then with these cards, a little bit of cardio. The heart is being worked on, for example, as a muscle, and we could actually be looking at recognizing that some cardio is required. If we look at the focus card, then everything's all right in health. And then these cards just say a little bit extra, everything's all right. You will be doing a little bit more exercise than usual, going out, even horse riding with these two. But it could even be that the querent is wanting a place on a group exercise, and the news is coming in that there are places for them where they can actually enjoy their exercise. the final one, the mix card, it kind of looks like the querent is expecting results in this scenario, because we have Rider and Moon together, recognizing that news that's coming in. So on a health basis, that can mean that there are results coming in. The Garden card showing basically that the medical professionals are really good at what they do, because that is our another good people card, good people around. And if you're talking about results, then you're usually talking about medical professionals, or even a rehabilitation center, for example, with Garden, that social aspect of health. And that there are decisions regarding the heart or decisions regarding well-being in that. But that will be discussed, and that will be relayed to the querent as well. So you see how the cards change a little bit in each scenario, but also when we are doing different themed reads. Let's do relationship now. And again, in a tracking of 5, in a narrative, we are looking at those peaks and troughs of a relationship. If we are seeing an amazing relationship future, I want to see heart in there, which I can't because I've already used that in the last read. But I would want to see heart. I would want to see ring. I would want to see lilies for satisfaction in the relationship. Maybe even the good people cards out to play, just generally the 2 people within a relationship having a great time together. So I want to see all those shiny, the sun showing that growth in the relationship. So tracking a relationship, the relationship is currently, wow, at its best. The anchor card speaks of luck in love. So the querent is starting out strong in this relationship. Moving into ring and commitment within the relationship. So now the question is, are we going to continue seeing this betterment, or are we going to see a worsening of this relationship because it's starting out strong? The next card we have is our happy card of the bouquet. I mean, if you want any components for a relationship to be perfect, these 3 are a good way of making it there, especially if you had the heart card in the mix too. So are we going to see a betterment, or are we going to see that worsening? Thought so. You can't have such a good run without a negative, can you? So the relationship starts off really amazing. They're in a committed relationship. They feel lucky in the partner that they have, and they are happy, but that comes to a sudden end with coffin. Oh, and child. So we see great cards followed by a really challenging card, and one card that is good in its nature. So the relationship comes to possibly to a sudden end, or that there is an ending of that happiness and that solidity that we see at the beginning. And it's due to coffin child. And child could simply be that kids get in the mix. It could be that they're pregnant and that screws the relationship up, for example, or it could just be other people in the querent's life, so friends, family, etc., really getting in the mix and screwing that so solid start up for them. If we are taking anchor as that focus card, the relationship is great. The relationship is that end goal relationship. These cards won't change that. These cards will explain issues with that, or they'll explain the amazingness therein. So nothing is going to change that anchor when you are using that as your focus card. That is the answer. The relationship is an amazing end goal relationship. They're very happy within their commitment, but they don't have children yet, perhaps, is the added onto that, because that is such a positive card. It refers to love in the original instructions as well as trade. That these cards can't rock that simple answer. So they explain further, and their meanings are a little less, like, that's not as doom and gloom as it was in the narrative read. Similarly, the relationship is majorly happy. It is as the querent desires. The relationship has all the components that the querent needs to be happy therein. It's a long-term commitment. It is a commitment for that end goal relationship. They are married, or they are getting married very soon. But on the other hand, despite that happiness, they actually don't have children. So that doesn't mean that that is dampening that in any way, because that's your answer as the focus card. But it does mean that that is a point in the relationship that needs to be brought forth. They don't have children, or, they've struggled as far as pregnancy is concerned. So what I would like you to do is try some different themes. Try them in the different methods too. Let me know which method you prefer. Some people prefer a focus read because it gives them that one card answer. I prefer the narrative read. When I'm reading a grand tableau, I will use all of them because I need all of them in order to process the information therein. I hope you've enjoyed this course. We do have runes for free starting next week. We already have a full OM class online for free for you, a beginner's class like this. We have Kipper Cards coming up too. We are trying to do our bit to pay it forward to the universe. I will be sharing in the comments of this post in the World Lenormand Association group on Facebook a 40% off coupon for you. If you would like to buy any courses within the World Divination Association, you can go to our website. We've got over 200 courses, including a lot of Lenormand courses at prices that we're proud of, that are extremely affordable. So I will put a 40% off code in the Facebook group underneath this video, and feel free to use it. It will be available only for the coming 5 days. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And if this is goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the groups practicing your reads.